Hey guys, and welcome to a showdown between the fearsome Lizardmen and the Warriors of Chaos. It is going to be myself, a Rabadaka War, up against Nano Troll 94, and like his name suggests, he's not indeed going to be bringing any trolls, which is a little bit sad, but still, he's bringing a mighty force indeed, and here we are on River and Maxim. So for my build, you can see I've gone for a little bit of a theme here, but we'll get to that in just a second. For our main battle line, we do have red-crested skinks on either flank, one of which is the cohort of Sotek, and in that centre pocket we have double Saurus warriors with shields. These guys are such good value for money. They can certainly help tear through marauders and the like, and even go toe-to-toe with Warriors of Chaos for a considerable amount of time. Now in the massive doggo line here, we do have 3 salamander hunting packs, as well as 3 Razordon hunting packs. And they are going to be going up in teams of 2 here, 1 hunting pack of salamanders and 1 of Razordons in kind of 3 little sections, just to help me micro them a little bit easier. Of course, Razordons come in with that nice armor piercing, but at the same time, salamanders come in with that beautiful bonus versus large as well. So we're going to be trying to take down as many threats as possible with the gigantic line of doggos. Now to protect them in the back line, we have had to go on pretty thin, unfortunately. We have double skink cohorts who can hopefully plug the gaps. And up in the skies, who's going to be dropping down to try and protect these guys, is indeed Tic-Tac-Toe, coming in with Master of the Skies, Deadly Onslaught, as well as his Rock Drop there. Hidden over in the trees, we do have Lord Croak as well, being all sneaky-like. And Slants, funnily enough, can indeed hide in forests, which is pretty funny stuff. So my opponent does not know he's here. Hopefully going to allow my deliverances to connect to that a little bit easier without him dodging. So of course he does have his 3 different types of deliverance, as well as his Supreme Shield of the old ones. Now for the Forces of Chaos, on this left-hand side, he does have double Marauder Horsemen getting danger close. And on the right-hand side, we have some more Horsemen as well. Up hidden in the trees, we have double Chaos Warhounds. There's also one dotted over in the far distance on the left-hand flank. But for the main battle line, it's pretty simple. It's a big old metal fist of a ton of Chaos Warriors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they're going to be supported as well by double Dragon Ogres, anti-large, scaly skin, scary monsters who can certainly do a ton of damage to big dinosaurs. And leading this force, we do have Archaon the Ever-Chosen on his flaming steed here, looking absolutely badass. Coming with Slayer of Kings, of course. Stand or Die, Foe Seeker, Burning Head, as well as Fireball. So a pretty rock and roll build, I like it. A bigger, meaty kind of centre core with a load of flanking tools and cavalry as well. So without further ado, let's get this battle underway. Some of the horsemen do fly a little close to the sun there, and the overwhelming firepower from salamanders and razordons simply drags them down very quickly. Salamander hunting packs in particular are a fantastic answer to marauder horsemen. Over on the right hand side, we are having to push up our skink cohorts to try and drive back the marauder horsemen on this right hand side here, trying to keep them away from the battle as long as possible, as Tic-Tac-Toe does duck and weave there underneath a rogue fireball before floating back over to this left hand side, having spotted the threat of the Chaos Warhounds. Some skink cohorts are going to be here to answer the call, try to push those guys back as salamanders do rain down holy fire upon them. Although nice micro by my opponent does loop up and around with 1 unit of Warhounds and gets on top of the Razordons. But at the same time, hunting packs are no slouches in combat themselves, being pretty ferocious beasts. If we have a little look here, you can see 20 melee attack, 29 melee defense on the Razordons. It's certainly nothing to scoff at. Saurus Warriors and Warriors of Chaos do engage in the front line. See, our first deliverance is going to be coming down on this right-hand side, the one closest to the Croakmeister himself. And it's going to be a medium blast, and it does do pretty decent damage. We've got the cohort of Sotek here as well. We're actually going to be falling back to try and protect the hunting packs from more Warhound pressure. On the left-hand side, you can see we did shatter 1 unit with all the hunting packs darting into combat. We did manage to push off the other one as well, but it looks like it may be able to rally here. A Supreme Shield of the old ones does go down, trying to hold the Saurus in place for as long as possible, as it looks like the Dragon Ogres have made contact and decided to make short work here of the Saurus Warriors. Have another deliverance coming down here in the centre of the battlefield, does some pretty decent damage, should help those Saurus Warriors hold a little while longer, as once again the salamanders rain fire, but this time on the Dragon Ogres, a good target. Burning Head does come down the line once again as some more Chaos Warhounds do pop in, but they are fended off by the Razordon and Salamander coalition here, before once again turning around and engaging. However, my opponent is now starting to push through the centre of my build, and all we have is some skink cohorts to try and hold my enemy in place. Archon as well as darted into the back lines, which isn't actually the worst situation in this weird column formation. The Razors are actually just going to run away from the battlefield, try to distract Archon as long as possible, and we've also regrouped on this right-hand flank, as it looks like Chaos Warriors were pushing through there as well. Looks like Dragon Ogres in the front line pretty much spent, and the Saurus Warriors holding for a really long time, doing a fantastic job all round. Tic-Tac-Toe's just come back from shattering off some Chaos Warhounds. Hasn't got his teeth too wet, however, yet. We also have some Skinks just chasing Marauder Horsemen in the distance, which again is good value for us all round. Want to keep them off the field as long as possible. Now Archon has decided to pop all his buffs and go after the mighty Lord Croak, who's going to be dropping one more Deliverance of Itza as he does skitter and leap away here, using the Skinks as a worthy sacrifice. And it looks like, once again, it's going to do pretty decent damage. Just, solid all-round HP damage to Chaos Warriors is always a good start. We have Cohort of Sotek mixed in as well, hopefully starting to surround Archaon. So Tic-Tac-Toe is having to be used to block in the Chaos Warriors every time they do seep through the lines. And over on the right-hand side, good pressure by my opponent coming in by the Marauder Horsemen. However, the Salamanders, as I said earlier, are a pretty good answer to these guys. We are indeed going to have multiple units unleashing hell here upon these poor horsemen who are certainly going to be driven back. Cohort of Sotek desperately trying to chase down Archon and pin him in place, as once again he's going to be targeting Lord Croak, who's been busy tying up some Chaos Warriors here. Over in the distance, you can see the Skinks still harassing, and over on this left-hand side, Razordons do finally shatter that last unit of Chaos Warhounds, who have been rather pesky pushing into the back lines there. Chaos Warriors and Archon do surround the Lord Croak. The Supreme Shield of the Old Ones should allow him to hold the line a little while longer, and also going to allow all these hunting backs to just continuously shoot here. As you can see, Dragon Ogre's taking some decent damage, but another Burning Head is going to come in. Not so good though on hunting packs in general, much better against kind of tightly packed units of infantry, but still doing some pretty good damage. And at this moment, my opponent, a lot of his mobility has been forced off the field, so it is one of his answers to deal damage at least to the hunting packs. Another Deliverance coming in, that is 4 here from the mighty Lord Croak, only up to 54 kills, but huge damage across the board, and it looks like he may live yet actually. Oh, just as I say that, he is wiped out there, as the Warriors of Chaos Forces kind of broke there due to the considerable amount of firepower coming in, but Archaon, holding firm, is now surrounded by the Cohort of Sotek. In the distance, Tic-Tac-Toe is going to be used to force off the Dragon Ogres. Certainly want to shut all those guys down. And over on this flank as well, Chaos Warriors trying to hold the line, but they are getting shot in the back now by Razordons, up to 67 kills. Doing some pretty decent work. Really going to help these Skink cohorts punch above their body weight there, and do some pretty good damage on the back side. Looks like Archaon is just about to break here as well, as there's not too much he can do. There's too many targets for him to chase down, and with that, it looks like it is going to be a Pyrrhic victory to the forces of Tic-Tac-Toe. What an awesome game. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to give it the video a big old thumbs up and subscribe for more Total War Warhammer content. Very well played there to Nano Troll 94. Really cool build all round, pretty bad to the bones. Loving seeing the Warriors of Chaos in the front line, which isn't the worst idea. They can go pretty toe-to-toe well with Saurus Warriors and, of course, run over Skinks. They, of course, are threatened, however, by the Red Crested, who have decent AP, and, of course, they're relatively slow and chunky as well. Apart from that, Marauder Horsemen, one unit got caught out really early on, and one kind of got pushed away, but one unit got pretty good value overall, and the double Dragon Ogres is a pick I like as well. I'm certainly managed to shut down my front line and put pressure on my back line quite heavily. Luckily for me, I simply had too many doggos for his Warhounds to hunt down. We managed to turn around and kind of feast on them quite nicely. So as for our build, again, it's just a pretty fun build, nothing competitive necessarily over here, although it did work pretty well, and I generally think 6 hunting packs can be used in tournaments and work pretty well. I have actually been using similar builds to this, kind of mixing up the Lords and Heroes and Infantry quite a lot, but trying out the 6 hunting packs recently with some pretty good success. It is very micro-intensive, however, and of course there's a lot of problems with it as well. As you saw, my infantry line got overrun pretty quickly, Saurus Warriors holding the line for a decent amount of time, but there were so many gaps that, Warriors of Chaos started to kind of pull through, and I think if my opponent had just been a little bit more aggressive at trying to shut down the hunting packs, realising they were the threat, you can kind of leave the Saurus and Skinks to the end game, I think I could have been in a bit more trouble. Lord Croak, though, did help with that situation, managing to clear out quite a lot of the chaff with his deliverances. Only 54 kills, but a considerable amount of HP damage done overall to him. And Tic-Tac-Toe, what can I say? He's cheap, he's cheerful, he likes to fly around and doesn't really like dying very very much, and that's kind of his job here. He uses the mobility to protect the back line and try and pick on different targets. I do think perhaps Ripidactyls could be quite useful in this build as well. Maybe the Regiment of Renowned ones for a bit of backline protection, but then you are losing some of your front lines. Perhaps getting rid of Lord Croak and get in just a cheap Skink Priest. Maybe with a Manticore summon, Flock of Doom to kind of aid would work a little bit better there. Anyway guys, hope you did enjoy. Until next time, peace, and as always, stay awesome.